What's going on, guys? This is Kaisho. Welcome back. Pardon me for my poor quality of voice right now because I have a flu due to bad weather this mid-December. So keep safe, guys, and take care of your health. Even I have a sickness right now, I cannot miss the chance to show you guys my ban list prediction for the OCG January 2024 format because we will have our ban list this December 24 very soon, just before the Christmas. Imagine that, waiting anxiously for the ban list just before eating your Christmas Eve dinner. So yeah, moving forward, I really predict that our ban list will be huge, like the recent PCG ban list. If I'm correct, they had 25 cards on their ban list recently. So don't blame me, guys, if my prediction this time would look like a wish list due to high number of cards here, because I really think that the format was very stale for a very long time. We have purely Labyrinth Runic, those decks that are relevant for far too long. And also, of course, Rescues has been a thing since May early this year. So we've had a very tiresome format, so I predict that change is inevitable for us right now. Moving towards our ban section, we have Skill Drain, a very pesky card and usually a card that swings the momentum of the game heavily into the controller of this card. Mainly popular on Runic, so I think it's about time to lessen the unhealthy floodgates on the game, like Skill Drain, and also to hurt Runic as well, and other decks that relies on Skill Drain. So imagine that going to the board of your opponent that is already established, has high attack number of monsters on their board, and you get through, or you get through past the negations, interruptions of your opponent, and they are just waiting for Skill Drain to be flipped and control the tempo of the game once more, and they will just beat you down with high attack monsters and already established board. So I think it's very unhealthy right now. The Skill Drain is a very strong going first card, to be honest. So yeah, we only had Skill Drain on our ban section, and the only card as well on our ban section. So let's move towards the limited section, and boy, it looks like a literal wish list. First, we have Trident. Zodiac has been irrelevant for far too long since 2021, and coming this 2024, we might need to buff the Zodiac and make the Zodiac fans delighted by having Trident to 1, because Zodiac got power creep already, to be fair with them. So things have been different for the past 2 years on Yu-Gi-Oh! Zodiac from before is very powerful, but now Zodiac would be just average right now for me, to be honest, and it's really safe to bring back Trident for me right now because the format is very much different, much more faster, much more resilient than before. So yeah, Trident to 1 is very okay for me right now. Next, we have Little Knight. Decks that utilize 2 copies of Little Knight are absurd. For example, Rescue Ace, imagine the utility and resiliency that this card brings for them at 2 copies. Even at 1, this card is an almost mandatory card on your side deck, no? This is just too powerful, to be honest. So we cannot deny the fact that Little Knight is a very powerful and almost very generic card on everyone's extra deck right now. So many people are playing this Little Knight, and most decks also really benefits a lot from Little Knight on their extra deck. So I think we should let Little Knight go into 1 this coming ban list. Next, we have Redox. Come on, Konami, let's bring back the Dragon Rulers. It's safe to say that we can bring them back now when we have a card that sets 4 from the deck literally directly, like Turbulence. Times have changed. Dragon Ruler can definitely come back now. Moving on, we have Shifter at 1. Because why not if Konami pushes the agenda of graveyard-centric decks, especially Lightsworn, that will be supported very soon, and I think it will be released on the same day of the ban list, December 24. They could do some changes on the ban list that will benefit their new product. So if they wanna sell their new products like the Lightsworn support, the newly buffed Lightsworn, I think Konami would do changes on the ban list that will directly help the deck prosper on this upcoming format this January. So yeah, Shifter to 1. Next, we have Wanted Seeker from Sinful Spoils. Sinful Spoils really warped the game, the meta game that became a massive support for decks like Rescue Ace and Fire King and also Snake Eyes. So I think that hitting Wanted to 1 would be a good call to tone down those powerful meta decks right now. Because when you look at Rescue Ace and Fire King, those are very balanced decks, no? As a mono or pure version. But due to Sinful Spoils engine, they became menace. So I think that we should see how they would perform without the Sinful Spoils engine. If they can keep up their place at the top, and if they can, let's address them on the next balance, I guess. But now I think those decks are very pure and very balanced. So I think Sinful Spells is the correct option to hit on this ban list. Next, we have a Super Poly. Super Poly is the name of the game, this format right now. Breaking boards left and right and turning your monsters into Madragon and Garura. And the bad news is that you cannot respond to it. So overall, it's a very powerful card on certain format like this. So I really want to see Super Poly go into one. Next, we have Bonfire. Bonfire made Snake Eyes Engine crazy. So I really predict that Bonfire would be gutted to 1. The price of this card already tells you how important this card is right now. So yeah, Bonfire is very expensive right now, and it tells you a story on how inevitable this card is on everyone's deck, especially those fire decks that benefited from it, from the Snake Eyes Populous. So Bonfire is very powerful. It's a searcher and a one card combo at the same time, and it's very powerful to be ignored. So I really want to see Konami hitting the Bonfire to tone down those monstrous fire decks. Next, we have Delicious Memory. As much as I think how OK is purely right now, very decent, I think very fair as well. This deck have won the Duelist Cup main event and also the Japan Championship this year. So I think it's fitting to hit the deck, and besides, they have been very relevant for so long on the metagame as well. Next, Snatch Steal. We have a spicy one here at Snatch Steal. Honestly, I don't know how this folds, to be honest, and I don't wanna think too much on how Snatch Steal could be relevant, but they have released this card on a much more faster TCG format, so I think it will be fine here as well. Next, another Floodgate Rivalry. I think it's also nice to keep this card at 1 because many strong decks like Salamangreat abuses the heck out of this card, and also Runic and other decks that can capitalize on this card are using this card to stun their opponents on top of their already established board. So yeah, we wanna see Rivalry go into 1, and there's a reason why Rivalry got into 2 on the previous ban list. So I think Rivalry is too powerful right now. Next, we have Limited to 2. Now we sail towards the Limited to 2 section. Coming off the bat, we have Stovey. This hit would tone down the Evergreen Labyrinth that have been a staple on the metagame since last year, and they have been very decent for the whole 2023, no? They're even the top deck of January 2023, along with Sprite Tri Brigade for a brief time. So I think they should be addressed by now. This is also what Master Duel have made to slow down the Labyrinth, and I just agree with their call. So Master Duel toned down the Labyrinth by making Stovey into 2. So I think it's the correct option right now for hitting Labyrinth. Moving on, we have another deck that is much more cemented on the metagame. My goodness, we have Branded on the metagame since 2021. Imagine that we still have Branded right now on the top 5 best decks on this format as per Road of the King. This Aliberto 2 is still very generous, and it's just a minor consistency hit for the Branded, to be honest. I just wanna see Konami doing something to eradicate Branded on the metagame, because we might see Branded on 2024 if they don't do such thing on hitting the Branded archetype in general. Next, we have Big Welcome. So it's another consistency hit for Labyrinth. Just like I have said earlier, Labyrinth has been very solid for a year and a half, so let's simmer them down this time. Moving on, we have the Unlimited section. Finally, on our Unlimited section, at first we have Tri Brigade Fractal. This is like a Christmas wish list from me, because as you all know, I love Tri Brigade, and the pure Tri Brigade deck got power creep already since Burst of Destiny with Sword Soul and Floowandereeze, those decks. And look at Sword Soul right now, no? They are nowhere to be seen on the metagame as well. That's just how bad pure Tri Brigade is right now. So Konami, please give my third copy back of Fractal right now. Next, we have Pankrataps, another stable addition to us that can be very intricate but very tricky as well, as Pankrataps is only good when going second, so this might be a good alternative card when going second. And the next, we have a big one here and a bold one as well, very bold to be honest. I think that Engage would come back to 3, as Sky Striker would get their ban list and probably last support. So if Konami wants to sell those products extensively, if they might wanna give the third Engage of Sky Striker for Sentoki players. So we can already see that Sky Striker has a very huge market on the Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a lot of people that are spending a lot of money just to elevate their Sky Striker into max rarity or high rarity, no? And Sky Striker is in general is very loved by the Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. So I think Engage coming back to 3 is very uncertain, to be honest. but I think it will definitely help and boost the Sky Striker sales on this coming support of Sky Striker. And I think Sky Striker has been a very slow deck, no? And also, if you wanna boost the deck or buff the Sky Striker, you might as well add the third copy of Engage. They're one of most pivotal cards on the deck. So moving on, we have Zodiac Barrage, another buff for the Zodiac and a very much needed one for them. So I think they need Barrage at 3 in order to compete, no? Trident into 1 in Master Duel is doing nothing, to be honest. And also, Zodiac Barrage to 3 would definitely help the Zodiac get back in shape this format. And lastly, we have Change of Heart. It's nothing too crazy for me. It will just help the going second of some decks and overall a decent going second card right now. As well, that may be a good addition to our card pool. So that sums up our balance prediction video for January 2024 OCG format regulation. Thank you for watching this video and hit the subscribe button if you wanna see more of this. Happy holidays and see you on the next one. Peace.